He had only dreamed of one thing since he was a child. All other things seemed pointless to him. He never got distracted by minor goals. His attention was only on his dream. There were moments when his dream was so vivid he would close his eyes and feel like it was already real. He dreamed of America, a place where all he had ever seen in pictures, videos, and movies coexisted, where people of different nationalities lived together, and where there were opportunities to make big money and live a life he could be proud of. For him, the United States was not just another country. It was the embodiment of opportunity, success, and everything he had always envisioned for himself. He wasn't a coward. He had worked tirelessly since he was young, often day and night, to provide for his family and hone new skills. Every book he read, every overheard conversation about life abroad, planted the seeds of desire deeper within him. Soon he was consumed by the idea of leaving behind his current struggles and starting fresh in a place where anything was possible. The first step was to apply for a visa. However, he had no idea how difficult the process would be. When he visited a local consultancy office, the smiling agent sitting behind the polished desk assured him everything would be easy. "Don't worry," the agent said. "Just pay us the fee and we'll take care of the rest." He believed the agent. He handed over his hard-earned money with trembling hands and walked away with his heart full of hope. Days turned into weeks and then months, but the agent kept delaying things. Sometimes he said the embassy was busy. Other times he claimed that new policies had caused the delay. But the truth became clear. He had been scammed. All his money was gone and he had nothing to show for it. For days, he couldn't sleep. He would spend nights alone staring at the ceiling, his chest tightening with anger and despair. He wanted to give up, but a fire that had always burned quietly inside him refused to let him do so. He was determined to try again, no matter how many times he failed. His next attempt was with genuine documents. He gathered his certificates, work history, and bank statements and prepared carefully. On the day he went to the embassy for his interview, he felt as if his heart would leap out of his chest. The interviewer asked sharp questions. Why did he want to go? What were his plans? Did he have compelling reasons to return home? He answered honestly in every word. But days later, a letter arrived. His visa application had been rejected. The reason? Insufficient ties to his homeland. That night, he tore the rejection letter into pieces and threw it into the trash, but the sound of the paper tearing echoed in his mind. He felt worthless, like a man who had failed at the one dream that defined his life. Still, deep within him, he knew he could not stop. Months passed. He took on extra work, saved more money, and made his application stronger. He attended seminars, talked to people who had secured visas, and learned from their experiences. He also learned what he had done wrong the first time. Slowly, he began to rebuild his hope. The second interview came. He dressed in his best suit, carried his documents neatly, and walked into the embassy with confidence. This time, the questions were harder. "Why should we give you a visa when so many others are applying?" the officer asked. "Because I am determined not just to take from America, but to give. I want to work hard, contribute, and build something meaningful," he answered. The officer listened, but remained expressionless. Days later, the dreaded letter arrived again. Rejection. He didn't break down. Instead, he studied harder than before. He realized that success doesn't come with one or two tries. It takes persistence. His friends began to mock him. Some relatives started whispering behind his back, saying he was wasting his life chasing an impossible dream. But he ignored them. He carried on, his eyes fixed on his dream. Finally, after years of struggle, the day arrived. He had built a strong profile, steady income, substantial savings, solid documents, and a clear plan. He applied for the fourth time. The interview was long and intense, but he was ready for every question. The officer leaned forward, studying his face. After an eternity of silence, the officer stamped his passport. "Your visa has been approved," he said. He felt his knees go weak. He stepped out of the embassy, the warmth of the sun on his face, and tears welled up in his eyes. After years of rejection, scams, and heartbreak, he had done it. When he boarded the plane to America for the first time, he looked out of the window as the ground fell away beneath him. His journey was not just about reaching another country. It was about proving that dreams shouldn't be abandoned. They should be fought for. As the plane soared into the sky, he whispered, "I made it." Years rolled by like the changing seasons. He worked hard, saved diligently, and eventually found himself standing in front of a beautiful house. It had taken him years to save enough money to buy this house, but now he stood here, the owner of a piece of land in the country of his dreams. This wasn't just a house for him. It was a symbol of his journey, his sacrifices, his dreams, and his willpower. Looking around the house, he saw not just four walls and a roof, but the embodiment of his unyielding spirit. The windows seemed to reflect his journey, the challenges he had faced and the victories he had won. Each room was a testament to his hard work, each corner echoing with the story of his dedication and resilience. On that day, standing in the sunshine with the house behind him, he knew that his story was far from over. He had achieved one dream, but life was full of new horizons and possibilities. He looked towards the setting sun, its colors painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, and whispered, "This is just the beginning." After settling into his new home, he continued to work tirelessly, taking on more responsibilities and challenges. He climbed the corporate ladder, impressing his colleagues with his intelligence and determination. His life was filled with the hum of activity, the thrill of new projects, and the satisfaction of a job well done. But amidst this whirlwind of success, he never forgot the roots that anchored him. He remembered the years of struggle, the rejections, and the times when he had doubted himself. These memories fueled his work ethic, reminding him to stay grounded and keep pushing forward. One evening, as he stood on the balcony of his house looking out at the city lights, he noticed a young man sitting on the opposite building, staring wistfully at the sky. He saw in that young man a reflection of himself from years ago, someone with dreams in his eyes and the world at his feet. He wanted to reach out to that young man, to tell him stories of his journey, to offer words of encouragement and share his experiences. But most of all, he wanted to tell him, "Don't give up on your dreams." And that's exactly what he did. He organized seminars, spoke at community events, and reached out to anyone who would listen. He told his story, not just as an inspiration, but as a reminder that dreams, no matter how big, are worth fighting for. His words resonated with people from all walks of life, reminding them of the hopes they had once carried in their hearts. He became a beacon of hope, a living example of how determination and perseverance can turn dreams into reality. As the years went by, he watched as his life unfolded like a beautiful tapestry, woven with threads of hard work, sacrifice, and unwavering belief in his dreams. He knew that his journey was not just his own, but a source of inspiration for many. And as he looked back at the path he had traveled, he realized that the real reward was not just the success he had achieved, but the lives he had touched along the way. Thanks for watching video. Subscribe our channel and share with your friends.